Hello,
Yeah.
welcome to the Alamos Scenario Moment. My name is Aaron Spears.
And I'm Brad Hathcock. Welcome back.
Welcome back. You were in a band. You were a singer. What?
I was, yeah, in high school. I actually was in a number of metal bands
This
as
makes
the lead
sense.
singer. Yeah.
I revealed to you just now for the first time that I used to play guitar, and I probably forgot how to play everything now.
Yeah, it's like one of them things where if you don't use it, you lose it kind of situations, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I always have that inspiration in the back of my mind that I might go back and do it again, relearn,
Really?
but I the guitar's right by my couch. I could just pick it up and do it, but I don't know. I have to buy
Rather
strings and
lay there and watch TV.
just yes. Brad, you enjoying the Olympics, sir?
I have so far, actually. This is probably the most I've watched the Olympics in, um, I would say, quite a while. Um, it's on Peacock, which is nice. Although the one day I felt like the app was down and I like just nothing would load on Peacock.
I had the same
So,
problem.
oh, so okay, it definitely wasn't
Yeah.
me then. Um, so that was kind of an issue, but I do know it's also on like TNT. So it depends on where you're trying to watch it. But I've gotten really into curling this Olympics. Um, I find it to be actually one of the more interesting games in the Olympics. Obviously, outside of hockey, I think curling is one of the more interesting because there's a lot of strategy to it that I think goes unnoticed.
Yeah, it's there's so much to it, and it's really competitive, and also it's snappy. It's really fast. So like, even when they try to go to commercial break, they're like, "Oh crap, cut back." So
Yeah, that has happened. Like you kind of come in and it's like somebody already threw a stone and like they're on another stone, so you kind of do miss some of the action, I guess. Um, but overall, I think that's been probably one of the more interesting sports. They're doing a good job of explaining it to you as well. I thought,
hmm
like with the strategy as well as the scoring. Like they had a kind of separate segment on the scoring. So generally people think of it as like shuffleboard, which it is. But it's like it's like closest you have to be in the house, which is the target area, and then it's like closest to that dot, which I forget what they call it, that center dot. Um, and obviously, most people end up scoring when they're really close to it instead of further out. But it's like the number of stones closest to like that circle, the inner circle within the house as itself. But they started explaining like the T line, which is the center line, and then
the hog line.
yeah, the hog line. They were explaining kind of everything, which I've never seen before. So I found that to be quite interesting.
Yeah, and I did a little more looking into it because I was like, what are they actually playing on? Like, I know it's ice, but why is it so like it's got a certain texture to it, and so it's like, oh,
Yeah,
they put in.
it's like apparently rough, like a rough texture.
Yeah.
And I saw they were showing like during a break, somebody was coming out and spraying the ice with probably just like water to beat it up and make it like a more rough surface, which is the whole point of them with the squeegees or brooms or whatever the fuck you want to call them. And just kind of the point is to like go at that to smooth it out so that the stone, continues to go over the rough surface.
Well, you're
Um,
kind of heating it up, so the brooms are made of like a fiberglass or a fiber of some kind, and then you're like heating that ice up, and the ice has got like chemicals in it. It's got a certain mixture of like salt or something in it, and that's what makes it like bead. Um, so yeah, and then they
Interesting.
keep it at like 4 degrees or something. Like it's always ice cold.
Yeah. I mean, we still haven't reached the peak of the Olympics, which is the men's gold medal ice hockey game. Tomorrow we have USA versus Slovakia, I believe. And then we have Canada versus Finland as well. And that's going to determine the gold medal game. And, everybody wants to see the monster matchup of US versus Canada. I don't think anyone thinks otherwise. but Canada did not look great in the semis. Like, right? Yeah, I think next one's the semis. But in
Yes.
the basically like the playing round or whatever, you know, they almost lost to Czechia, which I mean, Czechia is not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not Canada, and they almost took them out, which that would have been, I think, very deflating for almost anybody. And then the U.S. also had a nail biter, very very good nail biting game against Sweden. So it's
And
been
Sweden's
fun
really
watch.
fucking good too.
Oh fuck yeah! I mean, I think their entire roster is NHL players. Maybe lower down their lineup, not so much, but I'm pretty sure their entire roster is NHL players. Whereas like Czechia, Denmark, like they're not. The Swiss actually, I think, had like 3 or 4 NHL players on it, something like that. And they almost beat Slovakia. I think they were up 2-0 against Slovakia, and then ended up losing to Slovakia. I think in overtime. So
Yeah, there were 3 out of 4 games yesterday were overtime, I think. So it was all exciting. And then today, the gold medal game for the women's was also overtime, and they ended up winning. So congratulations to them.
yeah,
And there have been animals, like wild animals, coming out, which is great. And I like the biathlon. That's kind of the one where you're like cross country skiing, and then you like have to stop and shoot. I've always enjoyed that sport, and that's been really exciting too. So good
it's a
stuff, man.
very difficult sport, I imagine, just because like all the effort it takes to do the cross country ski to have to stop and actually shoot is going to be a lot tougher. Um, to like get your heart rate down and stuff like that to shoot. That's like one of the big things I think for biathletes.
And you gotta also lay down to shoot. You gotta stand up and shoot. It's
Oh, I didn't even know
intense.
they had to lay down to shoot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Interesting.
you can imagine how difficult that would be. So,
So one of the aspects of the Olympics that we briefly touched on, just you and I, in a private conversation, and I wanted to bring it to this podcast, is the liquid death commercials.
oh,
So I currently am drinking liquid
uh,
death sweet tea, and it's quite delicious. I love liquid death products. I am a fan of their commercials, but you, in particular, don't really care for the AI commercial, where it's like a AI generated chick going, "Oh, I'm made from AI," and like everyone thinks that I'm gonna be the downfall of the human race, and so you don't care for that one at all.
uh, I don't like it because it's using AI to villainize AI. Like it's supposed to be ironic, but I'm like, but you're doing the thing. Like you're doing it anyway. I don't know. I AI is I'm like so down on it. I'm not a
But did you
fan.
did you like some of the other commercials, and it's just that one you don't like?
I don't like advertising in general, especially modern advertising because it all sucks ass. But yeah, I don't know why it bothered me so much. I just
See, but
using AI to
I at least say that theirs commercials are fun.
I but it's not. I don't think it's fun because like I see like they're making fun of the dark side of AI, but they're using the AI. I don't
But I
like
think
that.
I think it's built in irony though.
I know, but I don't think it's ironic because it's true. Like it's all real. I mean, it would be ironic if it was like a real person going like, "Am I AI?" Haha, and they're like in on the joke or whatever. But they're literally using AI to make that joke, and I just find it to be like, ugh, just off-putting.
Okay, do you like liquid death products?
Uh, I don't. I don't care one way or the other. It's just canned water, isn't it?
Well, they also have their own energy drinks now, which is one of the commercials that I actually did not know they had energy drinks. And in the energy drink commercial, they say people are suffering from exploding heads from having too much caffeine from energy drinks.
That
So
one's fun.
I guess they have a 100 milligram version of an energy drink that they probably only have a couple of flavors. I've never seen it in stores or anything. It just might not be here in Pennsylvania. Um, but they started making sodas, and they have different teas. Like they have a green tea, they have a the Arnold Palmer, they have this sweet It's called Sweet Reaper, and it's very good, like sweet tea. It only has 20 calories in the whole can,
This
something like
episode
that.
not brought to you by Liquid Death. Why do you like that
I
ad?
I wish it was. Um, I think they're funny. Like they're doing stuff that people aren't doing. Like you only see commercials like that in like the Super Bowl, right? Like comical commercials, but Liquid Death does that on a regular basis. So I like that. Plus, they do donate, I think, X percentage of their sales to like conservation and stuff like that. So I agree with that part of their mission as well. So I
It
mean,
makes you feel good.
it's expensive. I'll say that. Like their water's expensive and everything, but it does taste superior to bottled water.
Well, this hot bottled water talk's got me all fired up now, I guess. Um, is there anything else going on you want to talk about?
No, we can just end it right here.
Okay, cool.
We just did the
Um,
liquid death water ad. We can
yeah,
go.
hit at a high note. The Iran is pretty much they're pretty much fucked. It
Yeah, I
seems.
think the U.S. has been amassing some military strength there over the last, what, 2 weeks or
I wouldn't
so.
say some. I'd say all of it. Like it's a lot.
What do you think the end game is here? So, like, I was reading this article, and it's like there's essentially like three situations that can even occur.
Hmm.
Um, Nothing happens ultimately, and everyone kind of just moves on and whatever. Um, they overthrow, and then it's like there's two separate factions that could come in and like kind of rule. One, I guess, is more like Western influenced, and the other is basically like the IRGC takes over. I think was like the kind of like the impetus of this article. Um, where do you think they go from here? Like, do you think it's an internal overthrow? Do you think the U.S. just starts like laying siege to Iran? Like, what do you think's going on here?
Okay, so I have two thoughts. One is that if nothing happens, if the Iranians, which they're really good at, negotiate to kick the can down the road and say like we won't do the bad thing for 3 years, and they just wait it out, that's that's in my opinion a loss. Um, it's also a loss if you attack them and you don't go all the way. So if you allow the regime to stay in place after an attack, that's also a loss. Um, so in my mind, you have the one option, which is to just if you're gonna do it, fucking do it. And I mean, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it because I don't know that anybody look. It's a 50-year problem, and Fort Al was a problem, and we bombed that. It doesn't look like it was as effective as they were telling us, but we've been negotiating with them for 20 years now, making deals, and they just wait out every administration and they come in with a new one, and they just buy time. And now that their proxies are all gone, basically, and that whole like all those proxies are now being told like do not do this again, or we're just giving Israel free will to do whatever they want to make sure that doesn't happen. You kind of don't have much of a choice, do you?
No, I don't think you do, and you might be right. Like it seems like Iran's rebuilding their nuclear sites and fortifying some of this stuff as well. So they, I think they were clearly working towards building a nuclear weapon, which everyone will deny. But Sarah Adams was on Sean Ryan the other day, and she was talking about it, and she goes, they were absolutely building a weapon, and they were further along in building a nuclear weapon than anybody in the U.S. government previously believed.
Of course.
Um, so she actually believes that yes, we did it under the guise of Israel and everything, but that Trump was like, oh no, this is a problem, and kind of went and did the thing, right? Now, obviously, it wasn't as decimated as Trump makes it out to be, saying it was utterly destroyed. That's not true. If they're refortifying everything, it clearly wasn't obliterated, so that was false. Um, but I mean, they have to go a step further, right? But do we put boots on the ground to
I don't think
get
we
him
have
out
to.
of there, or like, do you think we just start like laying siege and carpet bombing them and shooting fucking hellfire missiles and shit on them? Like,
Well, that's why you wait, 2 months before you do it because you have to move all those assets in, two carrier groups, plus 150 or whatever aircraft, and you have to have Israel has to be ready for the response too, because when if it were to occur, they would absolutely launch their missiles at Israel, and I think there's two other factors at play. One, that nation has uh, said like they have tried to assassinate people in America, and two, they're a theocracy, so they believe that they want the nuke above anything else, no matter what. They're willing to slaughter their own people to do it, and so I think you don't buy what they're selling. I think you just go in and you take out all the IRGC sites, you take out the Ayatollah if you have to, or tell them to leave. I don't know what happens after that. I don't know what the power vacuum looks like in Iran, but I think that's your only choice. Otherwise, you make a deal and they just do the same thing they've always done.
so do you think they start like smuggling arms into these like protester groups that are out there and kind of are like, hey, go ahead,
Well, we
like
did apparently drop
do
about
the thing.
we dropped 1,000 Starlinks apparently, which is I mean I would have done that like the next day, and it sounds like that's what we did. I just wouldn't have heard about it. None of us would have. So it sounds like that was the right call to make there. So yeah, I don't know if you smuggle arms in. I don't know where you do it even. I just know that you can't like go in there and like pinprick all these different places around Iran and then
Yeah,
be like, we're done, we won, because it's not
I
going to
think
work.
we're beyond like half-assing it, and
Correct.
generally everyone knows how I feel about like interventionism and things like that, but I think it's a little bit different with Iran. Like they've already threatened to bomb U.S. embassy sites and military bases that are within the region, because obviously they can't attack America. They don't have the range to attack the homeland itself, so they have to attack what's there in the Middle East, and um, so you're kind of already getting those threats. I see obviously people like Elizabeth Warren are like, "Oh, Trump's escalating war with Iran." No, Iran is escalating war with Iran. Like, they're kind of poking the bear a little bit. It's like they didn't get enough of it, and you wonder how much of it's like grandstanding, um, that of them just trying to like hold on to that power and be like, okay, like
I think they
we're
believe
definitely
it.
gonna.
I think they're
I
like all in on it.
I think they might, and you know, I don't think that it's going to be a long war. Like,
It could be 2 weeks. I mean, I really don't
right.
know.
I mean, if you just start bombing them from, ships out to sea that like they can't even visibly capture like in by their eye, like they might just be like, "Oh, yeah, we don't want this." Like, fuck
I
this.
want to point out two other things to you that are important. One, Iran is responsible for American deaths during the global war on terror. So they crossed over the border and they were attacking our soldiers. And they did. They killed a lot of people. Over 1,000, I think. And the other thing is that Iran isn't just sponsoring stupid terrorist groups in like with the Houthis and Hezbollah. They're sending their drones to Russia and Russia's using them against Ukraine. Like it's just a problem that it would solve a lot of things if we were able to successfully do it. I just don't know that I guarantee you that there's so many options there available to them, and they've already figured it all out, and they're just now waiting. And I don't know if it's going to happen Saturday. I don't know if it's going to happen next month, but I could tell you that like I think it's like I'm 99% certain that we're going to take action against that country.
Well, they already closed off like part of the Strait of Hormuz or whatever it is, I think, right?
Another
Um,
thing, why? Yeah, I mean, why do they get to do that?
right. That'll end pretty quickly. And then, I guess the question for the US would be like supply line wise, like how long can we withstand basically a siege of Iran? Um, you
I
know,
yeah, I'd be more
there's
worried
there's
about
a waiting
Israel.
game. There's a waiting game to it, right? Like it's like in with Russia and Ukraine. It's Russia's banking on the fact that like Americans don't have the stomach for funding Ukraine for forever. Um, and so at what point is it that the same thing, right? Like they're just like, oh, we just have to hold out until people don't have the stomach for this anymore. Um, that I obviously think it's a lot different because Iran is so much smaller, um, and
I
they're
mean, Iran
already
is
having
massive. We shouldn't say it's
right.
smaller. It's humongous.
Well,
It
it's
is.
smaller than Russia and Ukraine, but it is massive. But they
Yeah.
also already have internal turmoil, which like Russia didn't have. And the one of the sayings kind of is like if you lose the Russian mothers, then you lose the war for Russia, because they're like, well, why are our kids dying? And it's happened before. That's what happened with Afghanistan and everything. Like they ended up pulling out. Um, because they lost support from the country. Well, you already don't have the support from most Iranians internally to like obviously be like, oh, we just need to withhold this siege. So I think it could happen pretty quickly. I'm willing to bet the CIA has assets on the ground, putting together small factions so that if they start bombing, like they just shoot a couple of missiles in there, that they have some armed groups probably ready and willing to just start kind of like doing a coup.
And
I
Israeli intelligence could tell you exactly where the Ayatollah is and all the leadership.
I guarantee it.
They know where
Like
they rest their heads at night.
if Israel wanted to, they could fly a drone right into the Ayatollah's head. I guarantee it. Like
My guess why they haven't done that is because they were not. I mean, Iran launched so many missiles at them last year that they just ran out of Iron Dome. So they probably had to resupply it, and that's why they delayed this. I think it's not.
well,
I
we
think
resupplied it first of all. Um, we
correct.
resupplied
Well,
it,
that's what it means. Like,
so it's not them, it's us.
well, we as a
And
team, we resupplied it, but we also weren't able to really do anything because if we
I
did, then it would have overwhelmed Israel.
I think it's deeper than that. I think Israel just doesn't want to get their hands dirty. They have a history of having the U.S. do their dirty work, and I don't think this is really any different. Um, I
Oh, that's
firmly
I
I
disagree with you.
firmly believe that Israel could have toppled Iran at any moment that they wanted to.
Perhaps,
Um,
Brad, but I'm telling you that Iran is guilty of doing things to us too. It's not an
I
Israeli
I know that
thing.
I'm not saying that they aren't guilty of that. I never said that. Um, But again, Israel does have a history of using the U.S. to do some of its own dirty work. That's just a fact, that
It
you can't
benefits
ignore.
us. Oh, I would
I
ask you
do. No,
for I would.
I would say that Iran being like the Ayatollah being overthrown definitely benefits the U.S. Wholeheartedly. I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not saying that it doesn't. I think it's mutually beneficial for us and Israel. That's why I'm not inherently against this at all.
It's
They've
beneficial for
been
Saudi Arabia. It's beneficial for Europe.
it's beneficial to the Middle East in general. Iran controls a lot of the negative sentiment throughout the Middle East. So if you put in a little bit more like pro-Western Ayatollah or whatever government you want to put in there, let's not say that they're going to be democratized because that's probably not true. But like if they have somebody who's more pro-Western, I think it's going to be beneficial throughout the Middle East. Um,
It would be an
with that
opportunity
though,
you couldn't really pass up because you're not going to get the opportunity to do it again. And I don't think any other president's going to want to do anything close to this. Once in a lifetime thing, 50-year problem.
well, it's funny because Trump was obviously like people's problem is that Trump was like so anti-war prior to his election, and then obviously he's kind of changed his stance on that. But I would be interested to see. what another president would do. Like, Trump's going to do whatever he wants to do because that's just what he does. But I wonder how another president would kind of handle the situation with regards to Iran, then sending, two carrier groups over there, and at what level are we just like strong arming them to be like, look, if the Ayatollah doesn't leave in like 7 days, we're just gonna start bombing you, like, because that might actually just prompt those protesters to take it a step further and be like, well, we don't want that because obviously civilians are gonna die, and that they're just like, we got to get him the fuck out of here.
Well, the other problem is we did tell those civilians in Iran, like, hey, we're coming, help is on the way. And I don't know that we did anything. Not that I'm not public knowledge. I don't know that there's anything
No,
we did, but
so I had heard about some like kind of backdoor dealing situation where, like, because Trump said if you kill protesters, you're gonna get like the full might of the United States, basically. Like the full weight is coming, and apparently they were hanging protesters and everything, and just kind of like making sure it wasn't public executions. And so, what's really going on there? Like, did he mean that or not? Because we know for a fact they were still killing protesters and probably journalists as well. And the full weight wasn't coming, but now the full weight is coming. And what was the set off point for that? Like, why now? I must have been missing some of this over the last couple of weeks. Like, I know the boats are coming, but like, why now when they've been killing protesters and you kind of weren't doing anything about it? So why are we heading there now? Like, what was the
time. I think it just takes a lot of time to move all those assets. I think it takes 2 weeks to sail there by ship.
So you think it was like, okay, we're doing it and it's just a matter of getting there? Okay.
I do. But and that's fine. But I wouldn't have told those protesters to do that and then not back it up with anything. But that's a moral call. That's not something, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have said that, but it's too late now.
Yeah, well, I think the whole thing is kind of morally bound at this point, right? Like, if they're publicly executing people as a Western style democracy, we don't really believe in that. You have to then back that up, right? Like, oh, we're not going to tolerate that. If you said that and then you go back on that, you definitely look weak.
Barack Obama had that famous red line quote, and I think he's on the record saying that he regrets not following through because he didn't follow through.
No, he followed through by sending them billions of dollars in fucking
I think Syria.
cash.
He said there was a red line in Syria, and then they did it anyway, and he just didn't do anything about it. And
Well, remember they tried to um, basically like false flag that by saying Assad was like using chemical weapons on his own people, and Obama didn't do anything about that.
I don't think that was a false flag. He gassed his own people.
You sure?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah.
I don't think you're sure.
Hey man,
Tulsi Gabbard would like to have a word with you.
well, sure, but like these are the times where you have to make that call, and what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with Iran? Like, are they just gonna keep doing this for the rest of our lives?
I don't know. I think that's the whole point here is like we either keep it the status quo and it's just going to be what it is right now, like everyone's under the threat of each other and for like whatever purpose, or we do the thing and the Ayatollah's done and we're going to see Western style democracy in Iran or whatever fucking half-assed government the CIA tries to install there. That's, like in Syria where they're like, oh, we overthrew Assad with this terrorist group that we are no longer a terrorist group, but they're definitely doing terrorist shit in Syria. Like, there's a number of outcomes here, none of them probably good, because let's face it, they're not going to be like a small America.
No, I don't believe that actually. I don't have like good vibes about Iran after if it were to fall. I just think that it would like interrupt their path towards these weapons, you know, that
And I agree. I just that where I'm coming from, I understand getting rid of the weapons, getting that threat out of there and gone. The question really is, since regime change has practically never worked anywhere except like I don't know Nazi Germany, um, what's going to happen next? Is it because one of the arguments was that Trump doesn't actually want to do this because they know that the Ayatollah currently is kind of just full of shit and that they can control him a little bit. So maybe this is just like a scare tactic to keep that rolling, or do they actually overthrow him and then you have this whole like unknown kind of quantity come in and then you have to like reshape the region is where it kind of goes. So that I just find it to be super interesting.
yeah, I think that is interesting, and that's you know history judges those moves well after the fact. Well, in decades we'll discuss this and go like, wow, that didn't work out, or that was a really good idea. But you know, when it comes to American air superiority, it's nothing comes close, and so there's a good chance that whatever we decide to do will be incredibly effective, and we've proven that multiple
Yeah,
times in the past year.
Iran has no chance here. I mean,
No,
like it's a sub 0% chance that they can defend themselves against our attacks. Okay, it's quite literally zero.
I mean that
Um,
kind of makes it a no-brainer, right? It's like, well, I mean, we could guarantee that it'll work. That's what you want to do.
yeah, I actually one of the underlying good things here is like I believe Iran has been very capable of like reverse engineering some of like our drone work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think one of the very undersung positives here is like we could put a stop to that, and that would be good for U.S. military secrets, in my opinion.
And, you know, we used a secret weapon in catching Nicolas Maduro, and we don't know what that was. Um, these are things you could do to test new military technology, so that could be another thing on the table. That's a more cynical take. I don't think it, I don't like disagree with it. You know, I think it's just the fact that you could like
It's yeah,
try some
it's
new shit.
cynical, sure, but it's true with little resistance.
Right.
But then I guess the question is like, are you really trying it in a combat situation, or is this just an overwhelming situation for Iran, which I think it is. Like, I don't think you have to send in the best of the best material we got, which obviously comes with inflated price tags in order to do this. So that might not be a worthwhile venture, but at the same time, testing out your new stuff, probably one of those like lasers that they have coming from like a satellite to
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean shit like that, but
yeah,
it would
blow it up. Why
definitely.
not?
I mean, it would
Fucking
give.
rail gun, something like that. Like I don't know.
I who knows, you know, like, but
Pull out some cool shit.
it would give China some pause, you know. I don't
Scare
know.
the shit out of them. And you know what? That's actually a very good point as well, um, because Iran is part of the axis of evil, right? So you're China, you're Russia, you're Iran's. They're one of the big five, I guess you would say. Um, and yeah, if you use some scary shit on them, they might be like, "Oh, we don't have anything to defend against that. Um, Maybe we shouldn't invade Taiwan or
You're
something like
right.
that." Like, so it might give them some pause because, like, if we can overwhelm Iran as quickly as we probably are going to, not it's not going to be a Venezuela situation where we're in, we're out within 12 hours and kind of get what we need.
With no
Um,
casualties. I mean, that
right.
was big too.
This is going to be a lot tougher than that. Um, but yeah, maybe it does give some pause to everyone else.
That's the projection of power. It matters. We stopped doing it because we thought it was gauche or whatever. You don't want to
And
like
then maybe these European countries are like, oh fuck, we better really start investing in our defense.
I really do think that Marco Rubio speech he gave at the Munich Security Conference was good. It was better. It was the best way to present those ideas because he's a good speaker. He has a worldview, which is important. I don't know that everybody in the administration does, and you could say it a different way and go like, you guys got to get your shit together, but also like, let's defend the West and stop shitting all over it. Let's stop pretending like these are bad ideas. We should
And
own
you know
them.
what? I've seen that. Like the sentiment here at home about everything that's happening with NATO is bad. Like everyone's like, "Oh, he's fucking with our, our alliances and everything else." But if you see like these world leaders, they're like, "You know what? He's right. We do need to do this. Like there does need to be a shift." Um, and they're doing it under the guise of like the U.S. is pulling back from our alliances and stuff like that. But I don't think that that's true. I think it's just being brought to light that like we are NATO, like the U.S. is NATO, and without us you'd be fucked. So give us a little bit of help. Like we have enough problems. They're bringing up the fact that the debt is like what $37 trillion in the U.S. and that like we can't even pay our interest payments on our debt. Look at countries across Europe, like Greece and stuff like that, who have been in bankruptcy forever, and have all these economic issues, and I think people are realizing like, oh yeah, we can't just have this cash cow forever. Like people keep saying America's the richest country in the world. If we were, why are we 37 trillion in debt? Like
Well, both are
that's
true.
not true. Like it's true and it's not true. Like at that point you're just saying money's made up. Like it's fake.
Well, we could do that. Nobody else can.
Oh, I mean they could, but who
Um,
knows what it will do to their economies? Like yes, we have the world's largest economy or second largest economy, whatever have you. Um, but I think it's I just think that these NATO countries are slowly starting to be like, oh yeah, we should kind of adjust our economies. And one of the things I think Marco Rubio said, correct me if I'm wrong here, was like, yeah, you can have all your socialist programs because you're not spending money on defense. And
yeah.
there's some truth to that. It's like everyone thinks that Europe's such a great place to live because they have all this like free stuff, but they can't defend themselves. And I believe he did put that in his speech, and I think it's a very salient point. Like it's nice to spend frivolously on other things when you can't defend yourself and you just rely on the U.S. for everything. Um,
He kind of
that's
gave he's like giving them a permission slip to finally say, "Yeah, we can do it." And they were like scared to do that. I mean, they've been scared to say anything or do anything. You see the UK and how they're kind of like buckling under the pressure of all these really stupid policies at home, with free speech laws or whatever, and other countries are having the same problems. And he's like, you guys can just like be Europe. You don't have to like be the world and be this like open thing for the entire globe to, I don't know, come in and shit in. I don't know. It's like they're treating it. People in the world treat Europe like a restroom, like a fucking like a what are those places you stop on the road? What are those called? When you're on a road trip and you
a
stop,
rest stop.
a rest stop. The world treats Europe like a rest stop. And I think he's kind of like, you guys don't have to be that. You really don't. I don't know why you are, but
Let's say when I was in Columbus, uh, I saw somebody walk into what I don't know. There was like ads on it, and it almost looked like it was a bus stop, but it was a bathroom. And
uh,
I had never seen that before. I know they do that across Europe apparently, that they just have these like bathrooms that you pay to get into that are just on the street. But I had never seen it before, so it was really weird to me. But that's ultimately how people treat Europe. Sure, go in there, take a shit, and leave.
Yeah, you get kind of free everything. So that's a choice.
How do you feel Marco Rubio is doing in
Very,
his
very well.
role 1 year in?
Very,
Like,
very well. How do you feel?
I think he's good. I do. I actually do think he's good at his job. Um, do you think this propels him into the presidential race for 2028?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think he's always kind of been in the mix between those two. So
It's going to be
yeah,
him and JD Vance, right? Like, kind of has
right.
to be.
Yeah, I think one of them. I think being a Secretary of State's tough because you do have to
Come
be
on
your.
now. Hillary Clinton did it. It can't be that hard.
I mean, and look what happened to her. Like it did make her like very popular. So yeah, it could work in his benefit, but you also have to represent the president and his ideas. You work for him, so that's a tough one. Marco Rubio's not an independent actor, so he's gonna have to.
No.
That's why that speech is so good because he's kind of like he's got his own ideas, his own worldview, but then he's channeling somebody else's as well. Pretty tough.
I'll say this. I think he's the right guy under the wrong president. I think he would maybe be better under like someone obviously a little less unhinged um, than
Well,
Donald
yeah.
Trump. But I also think that he tempers Donald Trump down a little bit, in my opinion, in some of the rhetoric and things. Like, he's good at filtering that shit out, like when it comes to going and speaking in Europe and things like that. Like, because obviously Trump speaks a certain way, and Marco Rubio does it with a little bit more finesse. And
Well,
so it's like
yeah.
it's
Sorry.
weird. Like, maybe he's the right guy under this president for what he's doing. But I don't know. I think he could be maybe even better under someone again that's a little less unhinged than Donald Trump. But
Well, JD Vance went there last year and punched them all in the face, right? And
right,
Marco Rubio didn't do that. And the room was very happy about that speech. The people in that room, the audience, was Europeans and they liked it. So I think they get it too. And I don't think if you go over there and punch them in the face, that's the best idea. So it here at home it's different. It's like you have a political party that is dominated by one figure and nobody else is going to fill those shoes. He could endorse people. If he endorsed Marco Rubio, maybe he had a better chance. But on policy, I agree with Marco Rubio so much. Like, yeah, I am like, yeah, maybe Venezuela shouldn't be sending their oil to Cuba. And so, like, I get his, like, long-term plans for, like, our hemisphere and things like that. So I agree with all that. And I don't know. It's dangerous to say stuff like this, but I've always been kind of a fan of his. And when he was in the Senate, I thought he was really good. So I'm not surprised. I just think it's surprising that, you know, the 2016 election was like, fuck you, Marco Rubio, and then now he's working for him.
yeah, you know what? Donald Trump is an unstoppable force when it comes to his base.
Yeah.
Like, when he said I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and like nothing happened to me, I truly believe that might be true.
Nobody else
Um,
would ever say that. So,
right. I mean, but I do believe that that might be true. Like, his base cut just comes out for him, and he's lost a good bit of the people who put him in office in 2024 in terms of like the young male vote and stuff. He's losing a lot of that.
it's
But
self-inflicted.
oh, absolutely. He could he could have done better. Um, I think part of it is like he flip flops so much. I think even with like all the ice shit that happened in like Minnesota, he's like, yeah, we could have handled it a little bit better, like after the fact or whatever.
You can't brush that off either. I mean, that's something that
No,
like you don't just move
he's
on from
trying
it.
to. He's
Yeah.
trying to Teflon Don his way, like into popularity, and it's not working this time. the thing is, he's a lame duck, right? Like he's only got 3 more years. Like he can't run again unless you're Steve Bannon, and somehow you think he's going to get a third term. Um, but I think propelling Marco Rubio to the top is beneficial. I think the problem with Marco Rubio running in 2028 is it's going to be the wrong time because everyone's going to be so uh, disaffected by Donald Trump that there's no way Rubio could probably win.
I mean, people are burned out,
Because I
and
think even if the Democrats just put up, depending on how 2026 midterms go, um, I think if the Dems just put up like any reasonable person, and I don't know who that would be, because in my opinion, most of them aren't, um, they'll probably win.
Gavin Newsom's the best liar they have. And I think it's
And the most
important.
skilled politician, actually.
Probably, yeah.
As much as I hate that fucking lizard,
He sucks,
he's
man.
he's definitely the most skilled politician that they have.
I mean,
So I,
AOC spoke at that Munich Security Conference, and they were asking her questions, and she was kind of she was at a loss for words. Like she never expected anybody to even ask her questions like about Taiwan, where she's like, I mean, that's really what she did. She just stalled.
yeah, I think people are trying to protect her from that and be like,
Yeah.
oh, she just hasn't had enough experience with um, world world politics to form enough of an opinion on the subject to give a coherent answer in that regard.
Yeah, and they should be asking her to go give more interviews that are difficult. That's the problem with Kamala Harris as well. She never had a tough interview, and then when she had the opportunity, she also kind of couldn't do it, and so that's a fact.
Yeah, and I think also being the fact that you are in Congress, like Congress has to declare acts of war. Not really anymore with the AUMF, but like theoretically, you should have some kind of world opinion, like you said with Marco Rubio, right? Like when you're asked the question about protecting Taiwan, your answer could simply be, well, we have a long standing relationship with Taiwan, and given the situation arises, we will look at it and make a determination from there. Like even that answer is better than
Yeah,
the thing is like, and that's not even a full on like answer, right? Just be like, we have a long standing relationship with them. We believe Taiwan is a sovereign nation, and we will make those decisions if that time comes. Is way more coherent than anything she fucking said. And that's
I
coming from a idiot podcaster who sits at home and has like a job
liquid death in a
that's
can.
not in government and drinks liquid death.
Yeah, for the good policies and the donations. Yeah, I mean, I think that they generally get scared of giving answers to questions like that, and I guess I don't. I think they're afraid of their own party, actually.
Oh, I agree. Like everyone's afraid to have an opinion. Like, and that's one of the things like I'll say, right? Like people will laugh at this, but like Gary Johnson at least wasn't afraid to have an opinion. You don't have to be right all the time. Opinions can change, but have one. Like that's what matters, and like be able to defend your opinion. Everyone knows that people's minds get changed on a regular basis, like with new facts and everything else. So to give me a hypothetical sucks. Yes, if China invades Taiwan, it's a hypothetical right now because it's not happening, not actually happening. Um, and it sucks, but like you can definitely have a thought out answer to these types of questions.
Yeah, or just say like, yeah, you could be honest too. I mean, they do
Say
interview.
I don't know. Say I don't know.
Yeah,
But like to try and make up something and then you just fucking fumble through your answer the whole time, like it's you're a politician. Like if you or I fumble through an answer, who gives a shit? We're two morons talking on fucking on microphones. Like it doesn't matter. I can fumble through whatever I want. You're a politician and you, AOC, are supposed to either be supplanting Chuck Schumer apparently or running for fucking president. So like what is it? Like if you end up even in a Newsom, say Newsom wins and like he needs a cabinet, is he going to pick you to maybe run for VP to try and get, the progressive vote? Is he going to pick you as like, say, God forbid he picks her Secretary of State? Like, you have to have thought out all these like fucking scenarios and have opinions on these things.
I
Like,
never thought she was that talented anyway. I don't see her doing well in any of these things, but she was young and took out a lifelong politician. So that's what made her popular.
I would love to see her debate fucking Rubio or JD Vance or something like that. I would pay to see that.
These candidates, because there's a good chance that the House goes the Democrats' way this year, and the GOP is like, they just had a meeting with everybody where they're like, go around the country and talk about affordability. Nobody's buying that. Even if the numbers say everything's fine, people don't feel that way at all. So
No, it's the same. It's the same thing with the 2024 election, where Democrats were telling you everything's fine. Inflation isn't 9%, even though it was 9%. Like they were telling you that it wasn't their fault that like things were more expensive, and the Republicans are turning around and doing the same fucking thing.
yeah,
Like,
Democrats paid dearly for that, and
oh yeah, it's
so
smooth brain shit.
yeah,
It got Donald Trump elected a second time.
yeah, and so like if I'm the Democrats, I'm like, if you want to be the president, you need to like go out and be on like Bill Maher or something. Like you need to get tougher
Oh
interviews.
no, you can't do Bill Maher anymore. Not as a Democrat. It's one of
Yeah,
the things that Bill Maher
he says that
even
all the
said.
time. Yeah,
He was like, at least Republicans show up when I invite them.
yeah.
And now I'm seeing in articles that people think you're red pilled if you watch Bill Maher.
Bill
Like
fucking Maher, dude.
in what world are you red pilled if you're a Bill Maher fan?
I mean, that is like the
He's a
craziest
liberal.
thing. That's the
He's
thing,
just
right? is
not a progressive. Like,
That's how you eat your own. Like you're eating Bill Maher. The guy made Religulous. The guy is like, I couldn't agree with him less on most things. Like he's out there
all
just
because
being
he had dinner with Trump. It was like
It goes back way
everyone's
before
like,
that.
I think so.
I,
He's just now critical of the Democrat Party, which he kind of meh.
he
I
should
think for
be.
Trump's first term, he kind of wasn't. And he admitted as much, I believe, and that like he just let Trump break his brain, and like he made it a point this time. He goes, "I'm not going to let him break my brain ever again."
And that's where he lost the
Everyone,
people.
yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, if you're not like doing this every single night, if you're not hashtag comedy, which by the way, he still tells jokes. I don't know if you know this, but on late night, I haven't seen many jokes lately. I've seen crying, I've seen lawsuits, and I've seen politicians. Haven't seen jokes. He still tells a
Well,
fucking joke.
that's because they're not good at it.
I mean, like
Those late
Kimmel,
night shows are terrible, dude.
Kimmel's still around, but Colbert's out in May, and he just stirred up a whole nother controversy over the
I saw
equal,
that.
yeah, the equal time whatever, and which whatever I don't really care whatever that is. It probably doesn't matter, right? But they're just advocating now for Democrats around the country. They're trying to like tank Jasmine Crockett's campaign during their primary, and that's what
Which I
that's
think is
all.
hilarious.
Sure.
I absolutely think that's hilarious because she's at one point is like, from what I see, is like considered a rising star in the Democrat Party, and they're trying to tank her from taking a seat. Like it's kind of just, they're eating her for no reason because like she
Yeah.
is also like part of the progressive like left,
Oh yeah.
and they're just for some reason eating her candidacy, and I don't understand that one. Like,
Probably because she's not going to win against a Republican. The other guy has a chance. It's all politics, right? But like Republicans used to not really be that way. They are absolutely that way now. Where they're like, we have got to Thomas Massey has got to be nuked from outer space because he had the gall to disagree with so and so. And
Who's now probably the most famous Republican out there.
yeah, I
And
mean,
probably the most respected Republican out there now.
they are doing it now too, and it's not great. But like, I'm not a fucking Republican. I don't care what they do. I'm not a Democrat. Like, if you want to tank Jasmine Crockett because you think she's gonna lose, whatever. It's just like, it's
I
just
think the thing is, like, think of how fucking disgusting that is, right? Like, if you're Jasmine Crockett and your
I'd
own
be
party
pissed off.
is coming in to fucking torpedo you,
yeah.
why would you still help them?
I know that same thing with Tom Tillis, right? Because isn't he the one retiring from the Senate?
I think so, yeah.
He's out there like complaining about RFK Jr. and it's like, buddy, you're the one who said like, I guess I'll vote for him. Like, you confirmed him. If you know you're not going to run, then just come out, have the balls come out there and do what you believe. I mean,
That's what I mean. Like, that's one of the things that is absolutely ruining this country is
it
like
is.
you, and this goes both ways. Like, you stand by your party no matter what they do to you. And like, they're torpedoing you and you're going to stand with your party and like just take it. And they're like, oh, we'll get you on the next one. Or like some bullshit like that. Like, that is quintessentially a huge part of what the fuck is wrong with politics these days. If you came in and did something like that to me, like as a friend, I'd be like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
why are you doing this to me, right? But it's all a game to them. Like, yeah, they're torpedoing her candidacy, and she's going to turn around and be like, well, fuck Republicans. And, like,
Yeah.
instead of, like, trying to reach across the aisle and say, hey, like, my party's fucking me. Let's try and actually find some kind of common ground here so that we can pass legislation. She's going to stonewall them still. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Look at all these like Second Amendment conservatives. You know, the second ICE kills somebody with a gun in Minnesota, they all came out and none of them had a fucking word to say about it.
Oh,
That
God,
guy was
yeah.
allowed to have that gun.
Absolutely.
He got shot in the back like a dog.
Absolutely. Now there's like a
I get
common
there's nuance to
there's
it.
a common sense thing here, right? Where like if you are concealed carrying, you don't engage with law enforcement, like because your likelihood of getting shot is tenfold, right?
I get it. Yeah.
So there's like an air of that, and like Joe Rogan and people like that have been talking about those kinds of things. And I agree, but at the same time, he was well within his rights to carry that gun.
You don't
but
get to
you're
come
right.
out
Like,
you don't get to like shoot dogs in the back on your ranch and then come out and say that an American citizen is like a terrorist. I mean,
right.
I'm
And
not
that's the
defending
whole
the
thing.
actions of that guy, but man,
No, but the response to it was, oh, domestic terrorism, domestic terrorism. Not everything that you dislike is domestic terrorism.
and you
And
should probably defend that guy in some way. Not all of it, but at least come out and say like he was allowed to have a gun and he just didn't act properly.
Right. But that's the way it goes for Democrats too. Like anything they don't like, oh, terrorists. Like they,
They're the
white
worst
men
offenders,
are-
actually.
White men are basically all domestic terrorists, and like it's both ways. Like Republicans, the base for like Donald Trump when he banned bump stocks, right? Like
Nothing.
he's supposed to be like pro Second Amendment. He bans bump stocks, and his base goes, well, you just don't really need one anyway. That's not the fucking point.
It's not the point.
Point is, I want it. I'm well within my rights to obtain it, so I'm gonna fucking obtain it. Like, it has nothing to do with whether I need it or not need it. It's within my rights. And so for him to do something like that and then his base defend him, that's what I mean. Like, you know, they'll do anything to defend him.
It's
And-
crazy that people like me have to come out and like say like I have to be the one that defends the Second Amendment because
Right.
I'm not a gun owner. I don't want a gun. I don't even really like them. And like I have to be out there going like this was okay, you know, like why are you I don't know, man. I feel like I'm making an argument for them.
Well, you are, like to an extent, but like I get where you're coming from because Like it's smooth brain shit, man. Like you can't come out and call somebody a domestic terrorist just because he got shot by ICE and you're trying to defend them. Like I'm not saying that it was like a defensible act or an indefensible act. I think that there's just a lot of nuance to it, that like it's a fucked up situation. But for you to come out and label that guy as a domestic terrorist is asinine.
The guy was
come on,
probably like an asshole.
be
He seemed like
smarter
a
than
he seemed
that.
like a dick.
Well, there was like video. I think he like prior to that happening, like kicked the tail light off of like SUV that had ICE agents in it or something like that. So
Maybe don't do that.
yeah, like that doesn't make you a terrorist.
It makes you an asshole.
Yeah, like you're just an asshole, and like, are you liable to get arrested for destroying federal property? Sure, that's a possibility. But do you deserve to be shot in the back and killed? I don't think so. You know who does? Like people on the Epstein list.
We haven't the time, Brad. I can't do it.
And I know we don't have the time.
I don't even know if I want to. I'm so. It's never going away, Brad. I'm never getting away from it, no matter
No,
how
but
little I care.
I think the interesting thing as we continue segueing, as you guys can tell, we haven't done one of these in a while,
Ugh.
so we're just cycling through the topics here. They're at least arresting like fucking former Prince Andrew now, and you're starting to see like European leaders who were associated to Epstein have to resign and stuff. So like things are happening, but like
See,
nothing's happening here in America.
here's the thing
Like
about
we're just
release.
letting it happen.
Okay, so I got two radically different points of view on this. One was that, and I don't want to go on forever about this. You don't release all of the files because there's people who didn't do anything wrong in there, but their names are associated with it, and that's bad. But then there's transparency and finding out who was associated with them and reading it. And I mean, it's good reading. I'll tell you that. It's not boring.
No, it's definitely not boring. But there's definitely some interesting things that have come out of those files. But still, people have not been arrested or anything here in the United States over it. You know, apparently Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell didn't traffic to anybody. Uh,
They
so,
trafficked to him. He was the
they were
guy.
just in prison for that.
I mean, that's
For
totally.
trafficking to nobody. So
I believe that too. Like the guy was like a monster, and like what
can I
kind of
just tell
monster?
you,
I don't know.
I sent you this thing on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it's definitely a photo of like fat Epstein, and they're like, he's still alive, like living in
Yeah,
Israel.
I saw it. I saw it.
So good.
Uh,
It might be true. Might
Brad,
be true.
Brad, allegedly. Um, maybe next time we'll go into it. Maybe next time I'll be further away from it, and I won't be nauseated by the fucking topic. I'm sick of hearing about it. Do you have light items?
No, not really.
Okay, I've got a couple.
You know what? I will say one light item. Hilarious that it's snowing in California and it's 60 degrees here in Pennsylvania today after it's just been 15 degrees for like a month here.
Yeah, it's snowing here, and it was, I don't know, mid 60s for a month. I
So
watched
climate
Marty's.
change is real and not real.
We have 5 years left on the AOC end of the world clock, so there's 5 years to go on that one. I think she said 12 years ago. She's
I'm
12
surprised
years, 7
surprised
years.
she has an opinion on it.
I'm shocked. I watched Marty Supreme. It was amazing. Give Timothy Chalamet the Oscar already. I don't know. It's not going to win Best Picture because one battle after another is going to win it for political reasons. But it is. It would have made my top 15 for sure. Could have been number one.
Yeah, it
Incredible
came out
movie.
late though.
It did.
So it's tough to get those onto our list when they come out that late.
This movie felt like I was watching something that like nope, like, oh, this came out in 1984. Did you know? Nobody's seen it. Like, that's what it felt like. It was like, oh, we found this gem from back in the day. Because
Yeah.
the music is so good and it's so 80s. But then, like, it's a sports movie and it's intense and there's just shit's going crazy. And you're like, these guys, those Safdie brothers, man, they make nothing into something every single time. Like, the most, it just goes like, duh, 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 and it just, like, escalates in a way that, like, Caught Stealing did it too. But, like, this does it better because it's just like, it's all about this guy who I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the basis is. I don't know who the Marty Supreme guy was. But like any element of this story could be true and it's fucking awesome. And there are people in this movie that you would not expect who are amazing. The guy from Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, he's amazing in it.
Yeah.
He's so good in it. Gwyneth Paltrow's amazing in it. There's just like these little actors that pop up in tiny bits and throughout the movie, and you're like, holy shit. Kevin O'Leary,
Yeah.
though, he, like, steals every scene he's in, and, like, he's in it quite a bit. I don't think he's an actor. I don't know if he's ever acted before in his life. And here's the other thing.
No, but I mean, he's on Fox all the time.
I mean, look, I listen to him, and he seems like a reasonable guy, right? He's on CNN a lot, too. You know, I don't know that anybody in this movie was actually acting, because Timothy Chalamet has been so cocky and confident for, like, the past year, and I was like, why is he so cocky and confident? In this movie, I don't know that he's acting. I mean, because the character he plays, boy, that guy is like the most confident character ever put on film. And Kevin O'Leary, same thing. It's like, is he acting? I think that's just him.
Timothy Chalamet is just that good.
He's so good in this movie.
I love a lot of his movies. I know he's done some like what's that? He did some cannibal movie which I didn't watch. And so who knows about that? I think it was called Bones and All or something like that, and I don't think it did very well or anything. But you know,
The
people are
dude's got some
entitled to make
range because
bad movies, but
you're doing Dune, and you're like, okay, you're this serious space dust guy. It's like, okay, go ride the worm. But then he's in this, and it's like, oh man, like you can't even see him in that character.
but he was
It's
also
crazy.
Bob Dylan, like
Right.
which
Yeah.
and he was very good in that. I mean, he's doing a lot. I don't know how he has time to do this many movies. It's like Pedro Pascal. Like, how does he even have time to do all these movies? I'm a big Timothy Chalamet fan. I actually just started rewatching Homeland, which he was in Homeland, and he was like, I don't know, 15 at the time.
Wow.
And he just, I don't know, he's been good like for a long time. He was also in Interstellar. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
You remember shit, what's his name? Casey Affleck had a character.
Yeah.
Well, he played like the 16-year-old version of Casey Affleck's character at the beginning of the movie when they were kids.
Huh.
Yeah, it's Timothy Chalamet.
Okay. My other plug is the I forget the Knights of the Realm. What's that show called? It's the
Night
Game
the
of Thrones
Seven
show.
Kingdoms?
Thank
Night
you.
of the Seven Kingdoms, yeah.
I don't know why this show just it almost came out of nowhere. It's so fucking good. It is so good.
Yeah, you said that. I'm interested in watching that. My wife, I don't think is, but I was telling you a lot about like the lore and some of the scenes from Game of Thrones that talk about Sir Duncan the Tall, which is the main character of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and that's kind of how he got there, and how he ends up becoming the leader of the Kingsguard, I think it is.
And the way they do it is so good because like I didn't know that at the beginning. I watched 5 episodes and I was like, how is this based on anything? And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it was just a throwaway line. And you're like, the way they go, like, this is how he got his name, and this is how he became like a knight, and this is the situation he was in. And the little boy that's with him, because this dude's like huge, he's like 6'4", and he's a hockey player, I think too, or he plays. I don't know, he's played hockey.
In the show, it was said that he's 7 foot tall, so they're probably going for that.
He's huge.
Like, yeah.
He looks huge. And he's kind of dumb and goofy. And then the little boy is this like super cool, wise guy. He's very funny and witty. But then like he's a part of that book too that you referenced. But like this woman at one point, I shouldn't spoil it. Um,
No, you won't see spoilers here. I mean, I can tell you from what I know, like in the lore and everything, that like that boy. Have you watched every episode so far?
yes,
So, has he revealed who he is
yes,
yet? Okay, so he becomes a king of the Seven Kingdoms,
yeah.
like
Which
at
is
some point.
it's
And
a total shock because
I heard that they have a plan for like 7 seasons of another Seven Kingdoms.
the it's so good and I cannot wait to watch more of it. And the thing is it's Game of Thrones stakes, but it's in a smaller place. It's in like
Mm-hmm.
it's in a jousting tournament.
Yeah,
And it all takes place in that one tournament. And like all these characters are so good. And I just thought, man, for a show where like they're packing a ton of shit into 34 minutes. They're not wasting
I
your
heard
time.
it. I heard it starts off like really goofy and then kind of like takes on a more serious tone in the later episodes.
Yep.
So I'm looking
It,
forward to watching that because I'll say like I know you liked House of the Dragon. I'm kind of like meh on House of the Dragon. So I'm interested to see what this looks like for sure.
it's completely different from House of the Dragon. And I
Okay.
think for the better. I love House of the Dragon too. I loved Game of Thrones early on. So all I could do is be disappointed by these shows because I love them and they're really good.
Have you ever watched Industry on
No,
HBO?
I watched one episode and then I fell off.
It's weird. It's very weird. They do some. It's like some financial trading, banking thing in like the UK, interspersed with like these just weird sex scenes. Like it's just
Ugh.
like, oh, we do some banking and now we do some fucking and drugs, and we go back to banking and we do fucking and drugs, and it's very odd. Like me and my wife are into the second season of it, and
Uh, yeah.
they've seemed to like drop off the depravity of the sex scenes a little bit and actually enhanced more of like the banking stuff. But you could easily just be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it doesn't help that I don't know what a quid is.
Oh,
Like,
stop.
some, I don't. It's like some form
Oh,
of dollar, I assume.
yeah.
Um, but it's just, it's a weird show. But we have been watching that. We haven't watched anything like super new. Now there is a new season of Industry out, but even my wife was saying today, we were like, I don't know. Like it's interesting to a point, but again, like it's just banking, then fucking, then banking, then fucking, and there's not like substance to it. So I'm trying to get her to watch Succession because I think that there's some of the fucking and stuff like that in it, but that there's more substance to the TV show as a whole. Um,
Also good all the way through. It doesn't fall
yeah,
off.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna try to convert her to watch Succession instead.
Well, I will say, word on the street is there's a new Steven Spielberg Jurassic dinosaur documentary on Apple, I think, coming out. So
Ooh,
kind of looking forward to that too.
yeah, dude. I gotta say, like this year seems pretty dope for movies. I haven't gotten to see as many so far as I would like because there's certain ones that I'm just waiting for them to come out on streaming and stuff. I'm really interested in watching this movie called Night Patrol, and it looks really weird. Where this like group of cops become vampires,
Oh,
and
sure.
then they're like killed by thugs on the street and shit. I don't know. It looks really weird. It's like a Shudder movie, but it has Justin Long in it, and he's into doing weird shit. So I support it.
Horror
So
movie
I
star Justin Long.
Yeah, he actually is in a surprisingly big amount of horror movies. Like remember Tusk? Did you ever see that where he becomes the
No,
walrus?
I
Oh
don't know
my
that I ever
god.
want to.
Oh no, dude, you have to watch it. I mean, it's a Kevin Smith movie. Like and he wears a skin walrus suit. Like you have to watch it. It's great.
I will be the one of the few people. I love Kevin Smith movies. I don't know. I maybe. Um,
Have you
yeah,
seen Red State?
I have seen Red State.
Okay, yeah, that movie's phenomenal.
That movie is
That's
pretty good.
That's the level of Kevin Smith movies that could like Dogma. I just watched Clerks and Clerks 2 like not too long ago, so I guess those are my light items.
I just think his movies can be they're either really bad or they're really goofy or they're like the most depressing thing ever. I like Chasing Amy. Ugh, it's like the most depressing movie.
He makes a lot of different kind of movies, yeah.
Yeah. Um. All right, buddy. I am off, and I bid you adieu.
All right, catch you later, pal.
Bye.